Hello everyone, I'm Ron Merriman, Professor Ron Merriman. Welcome to AES 6400 Principles of Fitness and Health Promotion. Just so you know what these videos are, I'm going to be issuing a weekly introductory video, sort of recap of the previous week and what to expect in the coming days. And this is the first of what will be 7 more of these moving forward. So here we go. Welcome to the first day of class. If you're watching this video, it means that you've successfully logged into the course. Definitely first steps, you want to take a look at that syllabus, download that syllabus. Everything that you need to know about this course will be in there. What you need to be looking at, essential due dates, resources, where to go for anything that you might need in the course. So let's get started with our intro. So principles of fitness and health promotion. This course is designed around the National Academy of Sports Medicine's Certified Personal Trainer course. And if you don't have the book, you should definitely try and get your book as fast as you can. Here it is. This is the CPT version 4A. There have been a few versions of that book prior to that one, but that is the most recent and current book that NASM currently subscribes to for their course material and education. In the first week of this course, we have a couple of different things that you should be aware of. One, try to get in and introduce yourself to the rest of the class within the first couple of days. In your syllabus, it says that it's due on day 2. We have a discussion question that is due to be answered by the 5th day, which is Friday. If we ever refer to the 5th day, that's going to be the Friday of that particular week. So that's due by the 5th day, and then any interaction that's required with your peers will be due by Sunday at midnight. We do have 2 reading quizzes this particular week. We have reading quiz 1A and reading quiz 1B. And then also we have our week 1 assignment, which will be due on Sunday by midnight as well. So let's just real quick overview of the course. We're going to be going over an introduction to human movement science and the optimal performance training model. The OPT model is an integrated model that Dr. Mike Clark put together he actually put it together a long time ago, but he introduced it to the National Academy of Sports Medicine in the late 1990s. This model, really a revolutionary model at the time, was the first model to introduce something called integrated training, which we're going to learn about, to the field of personal training. So typically trainers to that point, pretty much meat and potatoes, you'd come in and you'd get right to your strength training, and you didn't see a lot of trainers spending a lot of time stretching their clients or even assessing their clients. So this particular model, based off of a physical therapy foundation, which is geared towards assessing your clients, pretty comprehensive subjective and objective assessment, and then taking that information and turning it into something that's usable and based on your specific results of your client. And this was something very different and new at the time. So this model has survived since Mike put it together, I guess more than 20 years ago now, and some of the components have changed within it, but the foundation and the basis of this model still holds true today, and it holds true for a number of reasons. One is a lot of research that supports its reliability, meaning what you actually are doing is going to issue the result that you're trying to accomplish by using this particular model. Not many other models have a lot of that research behind them to support what you're doing is going to transition and translate into the results that you actually want. So that's a pretty cool thing. We're going to go over the rationale for integrated training, why we want to do things like self-myofascial release flexibility techniques, why we might want to incorporate some core balance, reactive or plyometric techniques, SAQ, which stands for speed, agility, and quickness and then of course our resistance and cardiovascular training. So these are all the components. We're going to talk about the rationale as to why we should include these in a workout and how they're going to benefit a client, how we progress, how we regress, and why that makes such a big difference in your program design and the results that your particular client receives from participating. We're going to go into very specifically fitness assessment and different types of training concepts. So when it comes to an individual, we know that every body is different, and we want to not just design one program for everyone, but we want to design something that's very specific, something that is based off of the way that our client it already performs or kind of walks in with their skill set, what's happening with their physiology, and we want to take that and we want to translate that into something that is customized and specialized, and that's going to be challenging enough for our client and not just for our ego, which definitely, the last time I've checked, our ego will never burn any calories or gain any muscle for anybody else. So very important that we look at the client and design something that's customized based off their skill set and what they want and what they need. Lastly, we'll get into a little bit the National Academy of Sports Medicine Code of Ethics. Things we want to, situations where we may fall into that might kind of pose some questions, some what do I do in this situation, and how to tackle those types of situations, because they do come up, and we want to make sure that as professional personal trainers, and I really stress the word professional there, we want to have the answers in those difficult situations where some of our peers may not be able to handle some of those situations. So that's an overview of this particular course. Now let's get in a little bit to first week. So if you were to look at your syllabus, there are a number of learning objectives for this particular week, things including the history of personal training, characteristics of our typical client, and the rise of chronic disease. What you're going to find out is, especially in the general public, if you're going to be training in a health club, then the clients that we typically find in health clubs are they're recreational exercisers. Your competition is not necessarily going to be maybe another health club or another trainer. It's probably going to be that person's couch, or hanging out with their family, or spending time catching up on stuff that they don't get to do because they're working all day long. So understanding who our client is, who our competition is, what their behaviors are, and how those behaviors have led to their current state, their current state of physical fitness, their current behavioral state. A lot of these things your typical personal trainer is not going to really think about, but knowing who your client is and knowing some of the difficulties that they have prior to seeing you makes us better equipped to service them properly. So we're going to get into that. We're going to discuss the components of the OPT model, OPT standing for the Optimum Performance Training Model. That's my dog in the background. We may have a visitor from time to time. We're going to explain functional multiplanar biomechanics, internal and external feedback, and why, in terms of training, sensory information is important to human movement. Explain motor learning and motor control as they relate to exercise training. Define basic biomechanical terminology. Defining some key terminology, and lots and lots and lots of key terminology. So you'll be introduced a little bit here to human movement science, and how that plays a role in our program design and the way that we speak with our client, how we communicate with other trainers, really sets the foundation for you for everything that you're going to learn moving forward. So, with that being said, just want to recap this video. I'm going to try and keep them short, just so you know, under 15 minutes if possible, so you don't have to spend too much time looking at me in my house or my bike over here, and so that I can get back to the bike and make sure that I'm in good physical shape to keep up with the challenges of this course. So you're in the course. If you're watching this, that's great news. Download and print your syllabus. Read through that all the way through. Look at those. Look at the expectations. Look at the resources for each particular week. Get in and introduce yourself. I'd love to learn about you, and I'm sure your peers would be interested in knowing a little bit more about you. I have already put an intro in there for you to take a look at, so make sure you go in there and you can learn a little bit more about me. If you don't have your book, get your book. It is the NASM Essentials of Personal Fitness Training 4A. There it is. Make sure you have that, and let's get started. Check out under course information, check out my contact information. I will be available for office hours by appointment. I'm happy to do a Google Hangout, or I'm happy to have a phone call. Whatever we need to do to make sure that you understand what you need to do. If you have any hangups about the content, the information, we definitely don't want to run into any situations where you fall behind. Very important that you don't fall behind. The due dates in this course are hard due dates, so make sure if something is due by midnight on Friday night, which could be day 5, or midnight on Sunday, which would be day 7, that you get those assignments done before those times. That is all. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I will see you in the course.